Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to this episode of Movies Merica Live this Sunday afternoon. And we're all about peace and love and earth and wind and fire and legendary dreadlocks today's Movies Merica Live. And it's brought to you all by the new movie Bob Marley One Love. Okay, so we're going to get right into it, but not before I give you this little gift.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Hey, everybody. All right. So again, welcome to this Movies Merica Live episode, especially my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. You know who you are. And I know who I am. I'm obviously Van Ebert, and my name is like right down there. There we go. Yep, there we go. As I get my arms in the way of my face as we get into the episode right here. But yeah, hey, just a reminder here real quick here, you guys can get in the live chat on Rumble and Pilled and YouTube. And that way we don't make this episode just about me. We don't make the show just about me, okay? I don't want to just be yapping, yap, the whole time, to myself. I want to be talking to you guys. I want to get feedback from all y'all through the live chat about Bob Marley One Love or any movies that strike your fancy or anything that you feel like live chatting with me about. Okay, so there's a whole lot of topics I'm not going to be able to help you out with in the live chat. I mean, if you have like any biology questions or how to hem a dress or something like that, I'm not going to be a whole lot of help to you in those regards. But movies, I'm your man on the ground for that. Okay, so all right, let's get into Bob Marley One Love. And this movie is directed by Reinaldo Marcus Green, who also directed King Richard with Will Slap Happy Smith, and where Will Smith won the Best Actor Oscar a couple years ago, I guess, for King Richard. Of course, after, slapping the crap out of Chris Rock on stage in front of the whole world, of course. But the movie King Richard that Will Smith won that Oscar for was directed by the same guy who directed this movie, Bob Marley One Love. And we have Kingsley Ben-Adir. Hopefully I'm not butchering that last name, but he plays Bob Marley. And you've seen Ben-Adir play one of the Kens in Barbie, if you saw that movie. And then Lashana Lynch plays Marley's wife, Rita. And she's probably best known. She was like a Maria Rambo and Captain Marvel and the Marvels. And then she played basically the Black 007 in the latest Bond movie there. And yeah, this movie, it doesn't start right from the beginning of Bob Marley's life at all. It takes place pretty much from 1976 to 1978. And the reason that Ziggy Marley, Bob Marley's oldest child, and the rest of the Marley family chose that period of his life to do a movie about is, according to them, and they would know, it was the most exciting or most turbulent, or he just had the most activity-filled stage of Bob Marley's life right there. I mean, it was like, well, I'm not gonna. I was about to give away something that would have spoiled the movies, and I'm not going to do that right there. But let's just say it's an action-packed segment of Bob Marley's life in this, and so it starts out in 1976. He's still in Jamaica. Bob Marley, as you guys probably know, is pretty much the most heralded, the most famous, most beloved figure in Jamaican history ever. Okay. And so he's in Jamaica. By this point in 1976, he's in the middle of his star-studded career. He's already a celebrity. He's already well-known around the world. And he's already, hobnobbing with some of the biggest celebrities and other bands in the world by this point. And so he can't drive around, Jamaica and Kingston without having a whole crowd of people always trying to mob him and that kind of thing. Well, some stuff goes down in Jamaica, and then they go on a self-imposed exile, so to speak, to London. And that's why a lot of this movie basically takes place in London. And as part of that, they record his seminal album called Exodus in this movie, because that all takes place while they're in this self-exile in London there. And and then also covers the beginnings of kind of the end of his life and that kind of thing. And it shows like how communal he is and hanging out with his bandmates and his entourage, and talks about his troubled marriage. And it just covers all that in pretty much this like 2-year span from 1976 to 1978. And then just the turbulence that is taking place in Jamaica, because there's like a lot of political violence going on. And I mean, tell me if that sounds familiar, right? And so they have a couple of political parties that are warring with each other, and a lot of people getting killed, a lot of violence. And I think one of the political parties aren't too crazy about the Rastafari religion, which Bob Marley is a big proponent of. He's he's a man of faith in the Rastafarian religion, and so they don't like the Rastafarians too much. And so you can tell a Rastafarian from a mile away, because they've got the big dreadlocks, right, and that kind of thing. That's the period of time that Bob Marley One Love takes place in. So that's pretty much all I'm going to go over with the plot of this and whatnot. But and so we'll get further and further into the plot of this movie and whatnot. But without further ado, let's get into it further into Ben-Adir's portrayal of Bob Marley. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, he embodies the real footage of Marley that I've seen. He gets just the way that Bob Marley walked. He has that casual, aloof gait that Bob Marley walked with, and then just that charisma you heard when he spoke. And now he doesn't exactly sound like Bob Marley when he sings, but that's because Ziggy Marley, who I mentioned before, didn't want Ben-Adir to sound exactly like a carbon copy of his dad. And so Ziggy Marley worked with Ben-Adir and really rather wanted like an artistic representation of his father, not an exact representation or not an exact impersonation of his dad's singing voice. And so that's why the movie uses both Ben-Adir's singing voice blended with some Bob Marley archival recordings. And Ziggy Marley himself, I mean, he's a Grammy award-winning musician, so he knows what he's doing, and he's learned from the best, obviously his dad. And so, his dad died when Ziggy was very young, but Ziggy was old enough to get lessons from his dad and that kind of thing. And so, but unfortunately for Ben-Adir, the screenplay only lets him give a shallow portrayal of Marley. We don't get an in-depth, transparent idea of who Marley was. It's very surface level, and I don't feel like this movie really gave us anything that, anybody who's looked into Bob Marley, anybody like that would already know about, who Bob Marley was on the inside. A movie that did the biopic thing with the musician much better than this was Walk the Line, and Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of Johnny Cash. Cash was shown in Walk the Line, I mean, to be so vulnerable, so shockingly humble in some scenes. I mean, there's some scenes in Walk the Line, I was like, wow, I mean, I can't believe that Johnny Cash's estate, his family, allowed this to be filmed and much less to be, shown to the public as part of a scene in this Walk the Line movie. But I think the family just really wanted, their loved one, Johnny Cash, to be shown, warts and all. I mean, I think that they probably thought that Johnny Cash was like, don't give me some kind of polish. Don't try to pretty me up for the screen and put me up as somebody that I wasn't. I wasn't perfect, and show that in this movie, Walk the Line. And so, yeah, it's So with that movie, with Walk the Line, it showed us the real unpolished for the public Johnny Cash. And we don't get much of that, if any at all, for Marley in One Love. And now my suspicion is that the writers on their own, or at the behest of Bob Marley's estate, had to not get too real to preserve a somewhat sanitized portrayal of Bob Marley there. So, and this movie suffers for it. I mean, you really don't feel like you're getting to know the real Bob Marley. It's just like this, glamorized and just 10,000 foot up in the air portrayal of Bob Marley. And so, yeah, after I watched the movie, I was pretty much like,
no, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
So, well, really quick before I move on any further here, I just want to tell you guys all about our tdpn.locals.com website up there. And the reason I mention that is because that's where all of us at the Till Death Podcast Network, we have all our content out there, like videos and articles and blogs, all about movies and entertainment and cocktail recipes and booze and life lessons, music. We got Sean with the Till Death Podcast Network and Ian as well. They're both musicians. And so you're going to see some music related content, particularly from Sean, because he's a bass player and he does gigs, and you can see some gigs there on tdpn.locals.com. And then we also have content on there about politics and hot button, sizzling topics of the day, that kind of thing. And it's presented in a way that you're not going to see anywhere else whatsoever. Okay, it's amazing, and it's going to make you say, "Damn," when you see it. Okay, I lie to you not. Okay, if that made sense. But yeah, so as you see down below, if you go to tdpn.locals.com right now and you put in promo code TDPN I should say, you get 1 month free access. Okay, VIP access, because for a lot of the content on there, you have to have VIP access to tdpn.locals.com. And after the 1 free month, it's only like $3 a month after that, which is nothing, right? It's nothing at all. It's cheap, and not a whole lot of stuff you can get for $3 nowadays. Okay, with Biden inflation and all that stuff. So, but yeah, you're gonna get to all kinds of good content on there. So get out there, people. Get out there and check out tdpn.locals.com right now. Okay, so all right, let's get back to the matter at hand. A little Bob Marley, One Love. Should we? Shall we? Let's get into the movie that you guys tuned into this episode to hear more about. And again, this is a spoiler-free review of Bob Marley, One Love, because I don't want to be that guy that spoils this movie for you. And because then I'd have to kick my own butt if I did that. But as you'd expect, though, with the music in One Love, it really gets you moving. Bob Marley music, particularly jams like, Is This Love, Jammin', Three Little Birds, Could You Be Loved, and Get Up, Stand Up. They always get me springboarded into my day if I happen to be dragging. It's not uncommon for me to, if I'm just, my butt is dragging as I'm trying to get into the work day. It's not uncommon for me to fire up some, Bob Marley and, give me a little nitro boost into the workday. And, hearing some mirthful Marley music isn't the problem with One Love. We just get overdone tropes of musical biopics that we've seen many times before. The rise to fame resulting in extramarital affairs, stress-induced relationship turbulence, pretentiousness, the fall into melancholy and drug use. Most of the movie keeps the audience at arm's length, unfortunately. You're seeing most everything from a bird's eye view, it seems, with a rare, in-depth, and personal scene with Marley thrown here and there throughout. But even in those, though, you don't get much of anything revealing who Marley truly was. And the movie suffers for it. What also didn't help me like this movie as much as I was hoping to were the heavy Jamaican accents with no subtitles. Now, it may be the fact that I'm just white boy Roy, but I honestly couldn't understand a lot of what the characters were saying. So naturally, I'm not going to get the full essence of what they're trying to portray with the scenes. And so I'm sure I missed some things that might have made the movie resonate more for me. To be honest, really, watch the 2012 documentary simply titled Marley instead of this. You'll learn much more about Bob Marley than in this Hallmark Channel style biopic that is Bob Marley, a One Love here. But yeah, I was just disappointed overall, and so you don't have to check this out at the theater. You can you can wait till it comes out on streaming or get it. I was about to say get it on hard copy, but don't bother doing that. And if that offends you,
be offended.
Yes, exactly, right there. Okay, so let me take a minute here to let you guys know all about this fantastic product that we here at Till Death Podcast Network like to call Nature Clear. That's Nature Clear Recovery Powder to be exact. And Nature Clear Recovery Powder is a powder that you can take to prevent getting a hangover or to stop you getting a hangover if you happen to forget to take it before you go out there and get your drinky on, okay? And so all you have to do is you just take one of these packets right here. You just pour it in one bottle of water, and just drink it before you go out there, and you let the good times roll. And now the great thing here about Nature Clear Recovery Powder is if you forget to take it before you went out, well, you can just take it after you get home, okay? So after you crawl out of the Uber and crawl into your house, well, crawl a little further to your pantry and grab your Nature Clear and chug that on down before you pass out in bed, and you're good to go. And it also helps you recover from smoking and vaping as well. And so as you see down below, if you put in promo code movies when you go to the Nature Clear website in the description, there's a Nature Clear link in the description down below. When you go to that website and put in promo code movies after picking out your Nature Clear product, of course, you're going to get 25% or up to 25% off your next order. Okay, pretty phenomenal, right? I mean, fantastic. Okay, so yeah, get in there, do yourself a favor, and the hangover that you prevent could be your own. So don't hesitate. Do it, people. Do it. Yes, get into it. All right. So again, let me remind you to get in the live chat in Rumble and YouTube and Pilled. If you want to talk to me about, Bob Marley One Love or anything Bob Marley or any movie, okay, for that matter, all right? And then also, like this episode. There's that like button down below. Just smash that like button. Just crush it. Pile drive that like button, okay? And then also, while you're down there anyway, just hit that subscribe or follow button since you're down there anyway. And smash that as well. Smash that subscribe or follow button, okay? And then if you're not watching this live, if you're watching this later on, then, hey, get in the comments down below, okay? You'll see the comments down there. And, give me a comment, if you've got any tips or, if you watch the episode, you're like, I think Van could do this better. Let me know, okay? Because I know I'm not perfect. And if you have any tips, any constructive criticism for me, hey, let me know. Or, hey, if I'm doing something that you like, let me know what it is that I'm doing that you like, okay? Because that helps the episodes, be better for you, okay? Or if you want to talk movies or a movie you want me to review, by all means, you'll put that down in the comments. All right. So what should we do next, everybody? I mean, we got more Bob Marley One Love to talk about. And you know what? How about some random thoughts about Bob Marley One Love? So some quick trivia about Bob Marley, if I could say that right. Now, he is the son of a white British man, Norval. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm going to go with Norval for the purpose of this episode. He's the son of a white British man, Norval Sinclair Marley, and a much younger Jamaican woman named Cedella Morgan. And I'm probably butchering that first name, Cedella or Cedilla. I'm going to go with Cedella Morgan. And she was 18 when she basically, well, when she was knocked up, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, or when Bob Marley was conceived, I guess. So she was 18, and then Bob Marley's dad, the white British guy, was much older. And as this movie portrays, Norval was essentially a deadbeat dad who left Bob and his mom twisting in the wind in poverty. And Bob Marley's dad ended up dying when Bob was 10 years old there. So, and then another thing about this movie that it really doesn't portray is you don't see much of Peter Tosh in this. Now you may be wondering, like, who is that? Who is Peter Tosh, and why is that significant? Well, Tosh, along with Marley and Bunny Wailer, was one of the founding members of the Wailers early in Marley's career. Now, as you know, it's not just Bob Marley, it's Bob Marley and the Wailers. Okay, if you watch or see most of Bob Marley's albums, it's not just Bob Marley, it's Bob Marley and the Wailers. And so Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer, along with Bob Marley, were the founding members of the Wailers. And he and Bunny left the Wailers after Chris Blackwell with Island Records refused to make Tosh's solo record. And you see Chris Blackwell, the founder of Island Records, you see him portrayed. He's actually portrayed in Bob Marley One Love, and he's portrayed by the actor James Norton in this movie. And so Peter Tosh didn't really take kindly to Chris Blackwell not wanting to do his solo album. And so Peter Tosh gave Chris Blackwell a rather racist nickname. He basically he switched in his last name of Blackwell for White Worst. Okay, so according to Peter Tosh, Chris Blackwell's real last name was White Worst instead of Blackwell. So yeah, pretty much racist, and all because Chris Blackwell just wouldn't make a solo record with Peter Tosh. And hey, we got Unfolding Joker on Rumble here in the live chat. Good to see you there, Unfolding Joker. Movies, my man. Yeah, so we be jamming here on this episode of Movies America Live, and we got always asking if I'm early today, and nope, not early. I always go 3 p.m. on 3 p.m. Central. I should be more specific on Sundays here. So. Yep. So normal bat time and bat place. So you bet. So, but yeah, anything that you missed here, which it sounds like you missed the beginning of it, Unfolding Joker. Yeah, you can obviously check it out on the recording after this is over with. But yeah, just glad you're joining the show here, and always appreciated. And I want to see some others join here too. I saw that we had the View with Drew here earlier on YouTube, and just now saw that. So that's my bad. The View with Drew. It's not above me to miss out on some live chats and seeing them here, but what's up? Right back to you, The View with Drew. So absolutely. All right. Okay. So let's get into one of my favorite segments of every episode of Movies America Live. And it is my brew review time. And my relatively parched throat is also telling me that it's time for brew review time. So let's get after it. All right. So today's brew is from Petacolis Brewing Company out of Dallas, Texas. And this is their Sit Down or I Will Sit You Down Imperial IPA. And actually, the Sit Down or I'll Sit You Down name, in case you're wondering, it's actually named after the owner of Petacolis Brewing Company, Michael Petacolis. He's got a brother named Charlie, and his brother Charlie was featured on an episode of the show Cops because Charlie Petacolis, at least was a cop. And so there was an episode where Charlie Petacolis was dealing with an unresponsive suspect. And so he basically told the suspects, like, sit down or I'll sit you down. And that cracked up the owner of this beer company, cracked him up. And so they decided to name one of their beers, Sit Down or I'll Sit You Down. Okay, so thought it was kind of funny. And so, yeah, since it is an Imperial IPA, it's very hot, very, very hoppy. Okay, so to the tune of was it 90 IBU? So that's international bitterness units. So yeah, 90 on the IBU scale. And so, but it's not too bitter. It's not bitter in a bad way. There are some Imperial IPAs where it's definitely bitter to the max, bitter to its own detriment, where you're like, oh God, but this is bitter, but not overly bitter. And also, it's got a alcohol by volume rating of 10, so it's not a light beer by any means whatsoever, but it's still kind of a nice little fresh floral beer. And yeah, I'm a fan. I mean, not every beer that I review on Brew Review Time are winners, but yeah, this one's a winner. And so, being that it's such a winner, well, I need to take a tug off this bad boy. So here we go. Oh yeah. So if I hadn't taken a drink out of this, I would have had to tell myself to sit down, or I'll sit myself down. But yeah, grab yourself some Pedicolis Brewing Company. Sit down, or I'll sit you down. Wherever you can get it, you probably can't get it. You know, at your local gas station or grocery store where you're at. You'll probably have to go someplace like GoPuff.com or Open Bar, which is an app, or Drizzly.com, something like that. And I'm not getting any money from this brewery or any of those websites whatsoever, but just want to help you be able to get your hands on this brew right here. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to sit this bad boy down. We're going to wrap up this Brew Review Time, and let's get on with more Bob Marley, One Love. Okay, real quick here, let me remind you that we're going to be talking about more Bob Marley, One Love this Thursday night on my Movies America spoiler warning show, and that'll be specifically this Thursday night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain, and that would make that 4 Pacific, okay? And we're going to get more in depth into Bob Marley, One Love than I'm doing here on Movies America Live. I'm typically try to keep the Sunday shows shorter than the Thursday night shows. But yeah, check me out. That's on Rumble and YouTube and Pilled. I think you can watch it on X as well. But Movies America, spoiler warning, this Thursday night at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. So that's 6 Central and 5 Mountain Time, everybody. All right. So is this movie a woke after school special? Not really. I mean, I shouldn't say not really. It just plain out isn't a woke after school special. The closest thing to woke, and this isn't really woke, I wouldn't consider this woke at all, is the racist undertones you get from some of Marley's bandmates and entourage as they tell white characters in the movie to pretty much shut up because they're white. Rita Marley, that's Bob Marley's wife, shows some borderline racism in one scene where she talks about how she doesn't get why they're hanging out in Paris at this party with these people. Now, the people at the party she's talking about are mostly white. Again, none of this is woke. It just reeks of the kind of racism that's socially acceptable nowadays. Now, Rita Marley, she's actually played by Lashana Lynch, as I mentioned before. And Lashana Lynch is actually very, very good as Rita. I've got to give her due. And there's not one role I've seen that Lashana Lynch has played that I've been impressed with up until this movie. She wasn't impressive at all. She was pretty much just stiff as a board as Maria Rambeau in Captain Marvel and the Marvels, and then especially stiff as a board. I'm like, can we inject some character into this character of Naomi, the 007 replacement for Daniel Craig in No Time to Die. And Lashana Lynch brings some real emotion in some scenes and actually managed to draw me into this movie a little bit. Then the movie went right back to being this shallow, superficial portrayal of Bob Marley. So yeah, it's the movie just got overly sanitized for my taste here. So, and hey, Unfolding Joker is back with us here. So good to see you back here. Don't ever leave us again, Unfolding Joker, please, please. I'm trying to sound pathetic at least one time during this episode here. So now, if I don't sound too pathetic for you to want to show me a little financial appreciation as you're watching this, if you're liking what I'm hearing or like what you're hearing, what I'm saying about whatever, if you dig in the show, if you think I'm jamming, then yeah, you can give me like what's called a Rumble rant on Rumble, where you can throw me $1 or $2 to show me a little financial appreciation, or more bucks than that if you are so inclined. I mean, if you just got that big bonus at work and you want to spread it around to this show, hey, by all means, I will not be offended. Far be it from me to stop you. So if you want to give me $100 Rumble rant, that would be just fine, but I don't expect that, okay? And then if you're on YouTube, you can give me what's called a super chat, and that's you can do that by hitting the button with the $sign down by where you type in your live chat on YouTube, and so that's what I call a super chat. On Rumble, you give me a Rumble rant via the button that has a $sign on it there. So that's how you do it in Rumble. And then also, if you're checking me out on Pilled, if you're part of the Pilled posse on Pilled, then yeah, that's where you can give me what's called a gold pill. And I need to check out. There we go. See, I knew I was forgetting something. Because I forget that on Pilled, even though I have the Pilled live chat up before the episode even starts, it doesn't automatically start showing the live chat that's on Pilled there. So I apologize, everybody on Pilled. I completely did not see all your chats up until it just struck me till now to actually hit the refresh so I can actually see the Pilled live chats. That's one improvement I hope we see on Pilled, is that it just automatically loads those if you have the live chat page up there. But hey, that's a first world problem right there. So hey, so yeah, Saltfest Live. So yeah, let me take a minute to give the folks in the Pilled posse on Pilled the just attention they deserve and welcome them all in here. So I see Saltfest Live. I see Ghost Rider in there. I see Stuck in New York. Oh yeah. So yeah, appreciate you guys checking out the show in there. So you guys are fantastic. And I like the the Ghost Rider, the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider in there, and Saltfest Live. He was in Ocho's Rios in Montego Bay in '84, and I love the Jamaican jerk grilled chicken and burgers on the beach. Oh God, yeah, I bet that was fantastic right there. And what better locale than the beach to have some Jamaican jerk grilled chicken and burgers. That reminds me of when I was in Hawaii, and I was on the North Shore there in Hawaii, where they have like all the big surfing waves and that kind of thing. And there's this great burger joint on the North Shore called Kua'aina. And I remember going to Kua'aina and grabbing like these big, juicy, greasy, dripping burgers, and actually eating them on the North Shore, like right there on the beach, was the Pacific Ocean waves are crashing on the beach and whatnot. And so yeah, we're just having Hawaiian ice and Kua'aina, big juicy greasy burgers there on the beach. So yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down there, Saltfest Live right there. And then it sounds like it went downhill from there. He got into a fist fight with one of the natives. And yeah, there we go. Let me pay for some of that anti-whiteism. There we go. I like it. So yeah, so everybody on Pilled, I appreciate you guys joining the show right there. So all right. So some final thoughts about Bob Marley One Love for everyone. Like I mentioned here earlier, my final thoughts are just watch that documentary from 2012 that I mentioned before that's simply called Marley instead. It's directed by a guy named Kevin McDonald that's done some really good documentaries before. He also directed the movie State of Play with Russell Crowe and Ben Affleck and Robin Wright and I forget who else is in that movie. But check out the 2012 documentary Marley instead. Trying to stifle a beer burp there, but unsuccessfully, obviously, right there. But so let me do this here real quick here because I want to do everyone that's on Pilled a big favor and release the scratch in here. Yeah, let's do it. And so just to explain like what releasing the scratching is for anybody who doesn't know, that hasn't been on pilled.net before. So when I release the scratch, and it's going to release a bunch of gold pills, that they call them on Pilled, and gold pills actually equate to money. Yes, cold hard cash. Okay, and so if you're in the live chat on Movies America Live, what I'm about to do is going to unleash money for you. Okay, you're probably not going to be able to pay your rent or your mortgage or put a down payment on a new car if you're one of those rare people in this era of Biden inflation that can actually afford a new car. It's not going to help you out with that a whole lot. But hey, you know what? It's a token of my appreciation for you guys checking me out on Pilled. I really appreciate it there. So without further ado, let's release the scratching. All right. So that has been officially released. So save yourselves from the scratching. It's bloodthirsty. Ooh. But it's also going to throw some money at you in the form of gold pills right there. So let's see on the live chat there on Pilled if anybody has gotten any of those gold pills right there. I mean, because it's your chance, everybody, for everyone in the Pilled posse and Pilled to get grabby. Okay, so get grabby. Not Anthony Cuomo, Harvey Weinstein, Joe Biden kind of grabby, but grabby as far as gold pills go and all that stuff right there. Okay, so all right, everybody. So it's almost that time. It's time to wrap this up here on this Sunday. And appreciate everybody joining me for this episode. And real quick here again, just to really plug my show here and and beg you to do something. Yeah, smash that live button down there. Smash the hell out of it, okay? And then also smash that subscribe and follow button there. Follow me on X and Gab and on Pilled. I'm on Pilled, and I'm at all those locations under @Movies Merica, and I will follow or subscribe back to you there. So again, I'm on X and I'm on Gab. I'm on Pilled. And then on Twitter, or not Twitter, I was about to say Twitter. I just said X. If you catch me on X, I put posts out there on X. If you want to like those and check my posts out on X and Gab and Pilled, by all means, be a friend. All right. So, and I will be a friend back to you. Okay. Let's just make it all around friendly. Yes, exactly. All right, people. So as I always say, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Hey, everybody. Hey. I got the police after me. They're coming after me, okay? But I got just enough time to ask you. Just like this video, if you would, and then subscribe to this channel, okay? I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. I gotta tell you. And so before they haul me off, make sure you watch these videos over here, okay? And thanks for watching this video and the Till Death Podcast Network, okay? I gotta go.